Hey everyone, I have come over here where it's a little bit quieter. As you can see, I'm outside Belmarsh prison and there's rather a few people behind me. There's probably about at least twice as many people as there was last time I was here. Maybe even 3 times, to be honest. As you be the judge, you can go back and look at the videos. We're just before the speeches start, I think, and I'll show any of those that come up. But as you can see, there's more than 22 people here, so there's somebody on Twitter that owes me money at least. They're all here, of course, because Julian Assange is in prison, just up there in Belmarsh prison. It's the entrance to Belmarsh prison behind me. And he's in prison for being a journalist, journalism. Literally, he's in behind those walls over there. Emmy's just making an announcement, actually, so I might just go back over there.
Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Who can I see? Charisma, can you hear me? Wave to me, please, if you can hear me. Charisma! Hello, Charisma, can you hear me? I'm testing the microphone. Who else don't recognize that? Can you hear me, everyone? Wave. Wave, can you hear me? I think you're right. Yes, I think you're right. Yes. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this amazing opportunity to honor Julian Assange. I'm fairly in prison, inside those walls of Belmarsh prison today. We have an amazing award ceremony here. We have Compassion here and the Whistler Island Club stood on here and give an amazing award for Julian Assange. John Shipton, Julian's dad, will receive the award in Julian's absence. So I'd like to invite Eileen to come and let the ceremony start.
Today, we pay tribute to Julian Assange. But first, I must pay tribute to all those who supported him, turned out in all weathers, and most of all, refused to let the lies win. As long as there are people willing to stand up for truth, there is hope for this planet. Before I read the award citation, I want to tell you a little about the Gavin McFadden Award. I dedicated this award to my friend Gavin, who was passionate about great journalism, being a power for good, to give a voice to whistleblowers, so the truth can be told, no matter how inconvenient that truth is. In highlighting great journalism, this award also aims to shine a light on the worst of journalism, that which aids and abets lies, or which simply remains silent when it should speak out. This year's award is unique because it pays tribute to one of the greatest journalists and publishers in history, Julian Assange. This man has committed no crime. This man has committed no crime, and his detention is a stain on the UK justice system. As a whistleblower, I know only too well that injustice, abuse, and all the wrongs in this world can only prevail if silence prevails, if there is no one to bear witness and there is no one to publish the truth. This year's award also shines a light on silence, the very opposite of the truly great journalism of Julian Assange. Perversely, the silence of the journalism that could save him by telling the truth. We live in a world where whistleblowers and journalists are hounded, vilified and punished, where telling the truth is treated as a crime. Whistleblowers give this award to Julian Assange, courage, paying tribute to courage. There are only 4 words that really matter in this tribute. Free Julian Assange now. Maggie? I'd like to now read the award citation. Compassion and Care and the Whistler present the Gavin McFadden Award 2019, the only award given by whistleblowers to Julian Assange for extraordinary courage and self-sacrifice in the service of truth. When a great journalist or publisher can be forcibly taken by the state and held unlawfully in full view of the press, and the only thing that makes the news is the state's propaganda, then we have never needed great journalism more. This year's award pays tribute to a truly great journalist and publisher, Julian Assange, but it also shines a light on all those who stood on the wrong side in the war on free speech. When abuse, murder, torture, corruption or injustice are committed and no one is willing to bear witness or publish the truth, then we are all in deadly peril. We'll be here soon, Steal and Walk Free. And next week, we're petitioning Parliament directly, calling for that. So please watch out in Hansard and the Parliament channel, because you can't censor the truth always. So can I ask Julian's father to accept the award?
Thank you. Hello everybody, friends, especially friends of mine. Julian's contribution is unparalleled and has benefited many people in the world over, particularly exposing war crimes or troposphere dumping Persians waste, destroying coastal villages in East Africa, or the cables which allow us to see the sort of manipulations that diplomats go through to sell down their populations to enrich the United States. Julian's treatment by the, well, we could hardly call it justice, the Crown Prosecuting Authority is a sordid treachery from top to bottom. The Crown Prosecuting Authority conspired with the Swedish Prosecuting Service to delay Julian and keep him in the Ecuadorian embassy. In 2013, the Swedish Prosecuting Authority said we've had enough of this, we want out. The Crown Prosecuting Service under Paul Close said, oh, you're not getting cold feet, are you? There's more to this than just a simple extradition. And you may think I'm making this up or extemporising, but no, Stefano Maritza extracted these letters from the file of the Crown Prosecuting Service here, available to all of us. Julian's file at the Crown Prosecuting Service is between 9 and 14,000 pages. The FOI, after 2 reviews, managed to get 356 pages heavily redacted. Among those pages are the 2 that I just mentioned. The judges, the first is Lord Phillips, who in the first extradition hearing in the the Supreme Court heard a case that wasn't before him and was severely criticised in this matter in the Cambridge Law Review. Judge Arbuthnot gave a hysterical, elated, callous summing up, saying that if Julian missed out on sunshine, he should stand on the balcony. Further to that, when evidence of the Crown Prosecuting Service's manipulations and contortions of due process were shown to her, she replied, well, that's his worst. The next nasty piece to come along was a judge by the name of Phillips, who Julian had just been 3 days dragged out of the embassy, and Phillips had seen Julian for about 5 minutes. And his degree is in law, but he fancied himself as a psychologist and said that Julian was a narcissist. And those people are absurd. How can they get work? And finally, a week before last, there was Judge Baritza in the Magistrates Court. She again decided to hear the case because before she didn't have a bail appeal, but she decided that she'd rule on a bail appeal and said that Julian had absconded and wouldn't be given bail. Another strange judge. Just finally, Julian was given asylum, and that asylum was reviewed, and consequently he falls under the Conventions of Asylum, which the United Kingdom is a signatory to, the same as Sweden and the same as my country, Australia. When that happens, it means that Julian can't. It's not possible for him to break bail because he's an asylee and has been given asylum. The rights of asylum allow Julian to travel over the United Kingdom land to take up his asylum. Every one of these conventions are scrapped, disobeyed, more sordid treachery from the Crown Prosecuting Service. I'll finish on a positive note. I believe that with your help, we will win this. I've no doubt we will win it, because you cannot, in my view, crush such an outstanding person and event as the WikiLeaks. Just those few activists in Julian brought to us revelations unparalleled of despicable destruction of 7 countries, the murder of millions, the displacement of millions. You can't, the destruction of Libya, you can't even go to the shop, you know. If you're a woman, you have to send a man to, you can't walk in the street. That's their contribution. Julian's contribution is of a very, very high moral standing. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for this amazing award ceremony. I would like to thank Eileen Chubb for choosing our rally to have this ceremony in front of Belmarsh Prison. I would like to thank John Shipton for saying these powerful words. Julian Assange is a man of peace. His work with WikiLeaks has been in the service of peace. And we're here today demanding for his release. Our rally continues. I will now ask several people to come and say a few words in honor of Julian Assange. And anyone else in the end who wishes to say a word, please come forward and use the microphone. And may I ask perhaps Chris Julian, who's on us today, the only member of Parliament
you, Chris.
Thank you very much indeed, and I've got to say the honour is all mine, and I want to pay tribute to everybody who is involved in this campaign. This is a crucially important campaign because this is all about really defending freedom of speech, and we know that freedom of speech is under attack. And the greatest exponent, the greatest advocate for freedom of speech is Julian Assange, who's languishing in solitary confinement in Belmarsh prison. That is a stain on the British state. Britain used to pride itself on standing up for human rights. And here we have a situation where somebody who we should be venerating, who we should be celebrating, is being forced to endure solitary confinement, which is tantamount to torture. Torture taking place on British soil. This cannot be allowed to stand. And it's so important, therefore, that we stand in solidarity and demand Julian Assange's release, and that we do not take no for an answer. And I said it's an incredible privilege to be here, and it's a particular privilege to meet Julian's father. I can only imagine the strain and stress and trauma that he and his mother have been experiencing. So we have a moral duty, it seems to me, to fight on behalf of Julian Assange, whose only crime is to expose war crimes by the United States of America and the abuse of state power and the abuse of power across the piece, really. Why on earth anybody who's performed such a crucially important international public service should be languishing in solitary confinement in a high security in Great Britain? It's an absolute travesty, a tragedy, and an outrage.
Yes, 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 yes.
And so it's so essential that we do whatever we can. I've written to the Home Secretary demanding really that really Britain honours its obligations and as John is saying, really releases Julian Assange forthwith. It was bad enough, wasn't it, that he was incarcerated in the first place for the relatively modest crime, if we can put it like that, misdemeanour of skipping bail, but we don't know the reason why he did that. But to now be told that the end of his sentence is going to remain in prison, we're behaving as some sort of tin pot dictatorship. That's why we absolutely have to stand up and fight this together. And so I urge all of us today to take this message forward and to bring more pressure on other parliamentarians. I know that the Shadow Home Secretary and indeed the Leader of the Opposition, Jeremy Corbyn and Diane Abbott, have made their support for Julian very clear when he was dragged from the Ecuadorian embassy. But I want to see this issue being raised more regularly on the floor of the House of Commons. I want to see the government being put under pressure. And where are the British journalists? Where is the free press in this country? Why aren't they defending one of their own? That's a very, very serious question. So look, there is a possibility, I know we're getting to discussing Brexit today, but there is a possibility that we might have an interim government, and we might have Jeremy Corbyn going across the threshold of 10 Downing Street ahead of a general election, and hopefully he'll get over the threshold of 10 Downing Street for a more permanent tenure. But one of the most important duties, I think, would fall on Jeremy's shoulders should that eventuality arise, where in order to remove Boris Johnson to try to sort out the Brexit debacle, we shouldn't forget Julian Assange, and we should use that opportunity, and we should bring pressure to bear if there is a change in government to say, do the right thing and free Julian Assange.
Thank you very much. And press freedom is very important for democracy, and we had a parliamentarian from the heart of democracy speaking in a truthful voice about what needs to happen. Julian Assange needs to be free as soon as possible. You talked about the representatives of the press, and indeed we don't have a single journalist here speaking in this microphone at the moment, but there have been movements within the National Union of Journalists condemning the way he has been treated, and we're hoping these voices will become more active, and that people within the union system, the union movement, will stand up for one of their own. But we have independent journalists here today, and I would like to invite Morris to say a few words. He's come all the way from Germany, and Ireland. He's originally from Germany, so please come, Morris. He's one of our long-standing supporters. And anyone else now, we're going to slowly have an open mic. Whoever wishes to say a few words, please step up. Thank you.
Thanks, Annie. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Thank you, John Shipton. I work, some of you know me, I work for a German online publication, Die Nachdenkseiten. We've been on and off covering this case over the years, more so since the beginning of the years, alerted by readers. And firstly, I want to read out a word of greeting from the German Julian Assange Defense Committee. There's a few very energetic people doing this, and vigils are springing up over Germany in a few places, so I read out their statement now. We send all our solidarity, positivity and supportive energies to Julian Assange and his friends and family, to the Julian Assange Defense Committee, to Emmy Butlin, and all of the fine people who have been supporting Julian Assange for such a long time. Also to all supporters gathered today fighting for Julian Assange's life, for his freedom, press freedom and democracy. We are sending all our love and support to you today for the crucial fight inside and in front of Belmarsh. Free Assange Committee Germany is a small German group, still very new. We have only joined the fight in April this year. We do candles for Assange, vigils as often as we can, try to inform the public, monitor the mainstream media and demand reporting about Assange. Following the Julian Assange Defense Committee and your actions, it is an important help for us, a guidance. You are a role model for us and an inspiration. There you go, Emmy. Your permanent watch in front of the Ecuadorian embassy is an act of humanity and commitment for which we feel the deepest respect. It is hard to describe without sounding too corny, but for us these vigils show that certain humanistic values like kindness, compassion, fighting for a better world are still alive. It's probably Kieran O'Reilly is meant by that. He has been great support and constant. That's my interruption. We are not sure if we get it all right, but eventually WikiLeaks is about constructing a better, peaceful world. Julian Assange. To protect for freedom, to help make his vision of a better world come true, and to join your fight. So we stand with you outside the prison, and we send all our love and solidarity to Julian, to Chelsea, and to all of you. Free Julian Assange now! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange!
And now just a few words of mine. I've been also monitoring the kind of the developments, and it's great to see you all here, so thanks for coming. I think for me one big thing at the moment seems to be unity, that we stand united, and we hear kind of funny rumors and crazy stuff is going on, and that when we hear stuff like that, we kind of think about it and who could be putting this information out, and that we think of the human beings that we have met here at the vigils and what is their purpose or what their aim is, and judge that and not some strange information that is spread around. So unity is really what is needed, I think. So thank you very much. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
continue with a speech from Chris Nigel from the Socialist Equality Party. WSWS.com has been a fantastic source reporting accurately on the Julian Assange case. They're in the struggle with anti-censorship as well, because they've experienced that themselves. So, Chris, would you like to come and say a few words, please?
John Shipton said this month of the British authorities that they will murder Julian one way or the other. Now, no father should ever utter such a sentence. But he did so after visiting Julian in this prison, explaining that he has lost 15 kilos in weight, and he's in the prison hospital 22 hours a day in solitary confinement. Of course, we all know that Julian should never have been incarcerated in this hellhole, but even so, he should have been released. Instead, he was remanded until his extradition in February by a judge citing his history of absconding. Now, this is a rotten lie. Julian Assange is the most high-profile political prisoner in the world today. There's as much chance of him absconding as there would be the Pope. Crimes and misdemeanors was being openly threatened with violence, even death, because Trump had cited the crime of espionage. The noble Democratic chairman of the House Intelligence, Foreign Affairs and Oversight Committees issued a joint statement charging Trump with witness intimidation and warning, quote, threats of violence from the leader of our country have a chilling effect on the entire whistleblower process, with grave consequences for our democracy and national security. The House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff added that all Americans must denounce such witness intimidation. Now, where is the denunciation of the charging of Julian Assange with 17 alleged violations of the Espionage Act, paying a sentence of up to 175 years in prison? Who, in the official political circles, either in the US or Britain, is ready to denounce the plan to railroad him to America to face a show trial? Who will declare the threat to his life as a threat to democracy? As for intimidation, who will speak for heroic whistleblower Chelsea Manning, who was in prison without charge for 6 months for refusing to testify against Julian Assange before a secret grand jury? None of these political scoundrels, that's a fact. Why? Because Assange and Manning exposed imperialist criminality, including war crimes in Afghanistan and Iraq, of which the Republicans and Democrats are both guilty. And because further wars are being contemplated, along with a ramping up of state surveillance and other anti-democratic measures directed against the working class. The targeting of Assange and Manning takes place even as Trump is threatening war against Iran, with Britain, Germany and France signalling their assent. Boris Johnson did so while hailing Trump as the ultimate deal maker. In April, Johnson said it was only right that Assange now faces justice. Since then, we've all been provided with ample proof of Johnson's own respect for the law. We all know that here in the UK, contending right-wing factions of the ruling elite are tearing themselves apart over Brexit. But they're united in one thing: the understanding that state repression will be required to deal with the social and political opposition generated by the threatened collapse of the UK economy. Operation Yellowhammer revealed plans to deploy 50,000 troops, 10,000 riot police, and bring in emergency legislation to outlaw strikes. And no one is opposing this, including the Labour Party. That is why those who have exposed state in the past must be made an example of and silenced forever. And that is why we must do all in our power to defeat this state conspiracy and free Assange and Manning. Now, Julian Assange has been the target of a state vendetta for almost a decade. including almost 8 years in arbitrary and illegal detention. The Socialist Equality Party in the UK, our co-thinkers internationally, and the World Socialist website have defended him from day one. Our work focuses on the mobilisation of the working class to demand an end to the persecution of Assange and Manning as prisoners of the class war, as the spearhead of the fight against imperialist war and the sharp turn towards authoritarian rule. Only this immense social force, the international working class, has the power to defeat the ruling class, its politicians, its judges, its media, its spies, and its police military apparatus. We will go forward in this fight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, the political and historic perspective of this fight. I'm very grateful for your support. I would like now to introduce Kieran O'Reilly, who doesn't need any introductions from me. He's been camping out here for months in support of Julian Assange. He's been defending this cause with his body on the streets of London and outside Belmarsh. Thank you.
I'd like to talk about empathy and solidarity. As a friend of Julian's and as a former prisoner of the United States, where I served 13 months for disabling a B-52 bomber on the eve of the First Gulf War. Other B-52s from that upstate New York base were deployed to England, and they dropped napalm, cluster bombs and few other explosives on the people of Iraq. And reading Neil from Veterans for Peace, he was as an 18-year-old deployed to that war. And knowing Julian's resistance as a 17-year-old hacker before he became a publisher and a journalist, before he found his vocation, he was an activist. Some people grow up, others don't, but still remain an activist. And the releasing of the Lankworm in the Pentagon computer system. And I'd really encourage people to find the Australian movie Underground, because I think the short circuit in England and during this campaign is one of empathy. And people just switch off to the name Julian Assange. I was saying to John the other day, I got to spend a day with John on his 75th birthday. But when you say Julian's name, it's like mentioning the name of Gollum for Lord of the Rings, you know. And I thought of other people I've known in my life who are like that. And it's very much the Aboriginal people in Australia that any kind of, they're defined out of existence. And I think of the refugees and Nauru and the offshore gulags. And I met Patrick Maguire, who's a 14-year-old who was dragged from his bed by the British Special Branch, and his family was sent to prison with the Gulf War. And I knew Jerry Conlon. His father came over here to find him a lawyer, and he died in one of these prisons. And if you raised any of those names, the switch off the short circuit. And I think one thing you can say about both Chelsea Manning, having met Chelsea's mother and uncles and aunts in Wales, and Julian Assange, is they are people of empathy and solidarity. And you can clearly see that. You can clearly see that because Julian Assange could be a multi-millionaire poolside in Silicon Valley today and not in this prison. And the reason is that he's in this prison and not poolside in Silicon Valley, raking it up, is because he chose to align himself with the poor and the bombed and the exploited. And you know, and you look at Chelsea's family and values she was raised with as well, and you find those kind of themes as there as well. The second reason you know that Julian Assange is a person of courage and empathy and solidarity is that Edward Snowden is not in chains today. And the Guardian left Edward Snowden in Hong Kong. It was Sarah and Julian that rescued Edward Snowden. And a great risk to his own liberty. And that's where you can clearly see that. Now, I've served time in about 10 prisons, 5 maximum security prisons in the United States, Ireland and Australia. It's become an occupational hazard. And the thing about prison, as I'm sure many of you know, is that it's designed to tell you day after day that you have forgotten, that no one cares, to recant, to slip over. And the only anti-venom you have to that is the solidarity, your own spirituality, your own sense of self, and the solidarity of others. And I think it's very significant whenever people can gather here to do that, because they can hear us across the wall. Families on their family visits, they will be telling their families that we're out here. And word just spreads like wildfire in the prison. And the people who run prisons are quite cowardly. They run a totalitarian, self-referential institution. This is a pocket of fascism and liberal democracy, in my experience in prison. I've been in prison 3 times when people have been killed, and there was hardly any inquiry into that at all. And so the more solidarity you have on the outside, the safer it is for the prisoner, not only in terms of their physical health, but their mental health as well. And the thing I said last night that struck me about Julian especially, and also Chelsea, is that I've witnessed for 9 years visiting Julian in the embassy. I remember being at his 40th birthday party, and he's now 49, a slow motion crucifixion of Julian Assange, a concerted attack on his mental and physical health and his character by the British state. But that context is in the slow motion crucifixion of Iraq, of Syria, of Yemen, of the Middle East, which WikiLeaks has exposed. And that's what I've seen in the deterioration. And the only anti-venom you have, the only health-giving thing is your own spirituality and your own solidarity. But these are people who've chosen a way of life these are people who are very much like us, who are suffering very much like them. We're from this, most of us are from the centre of empire, whether it's England or Australia or the United States. And we're afforded this bubble that we can go through this world and just keep our head down and ignore what our militaries are doing throughout the world and live in this kind of dual reality. And Chelsea and Julian have stepped out in different ways. One was within the military, one was a civilian. And they've become people very much like us, who are suffering very much like them, the other. And I think it's great to be in the vicinity of Julian Assange today. It's great to be sharing this point of history with his father, with him, with Chelsea Manning, with Edward Snowden, with Jeremy Hammond and others. Thank you.
Thank you, Kieran.
Let's hear it, loud and clear. Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange!
Thank you, thank you. Let these walls here and behind those walls hear our voice. I'll ask Eileen to come and say a few more words, please. And then we continue. Thank you.
Hi everyone. So I've caught all the speeches. As you can see there, we had a speech from Chris Williamson. We had an award given to Julian Assange's father as well from Whistleblowers, and we also heard from a couple of other people as well. Chris Marsden, who's a friend of the show, great person, and you can see how important that this is. You know, Chris Williamson there has pretty much written one of the titles for my video on his own there. You know, this is the torture of a journalist on home soil. We must never forget that. This is the torture and imprisonment of a journalist on home soil. Now, I had a thought about this on the way down here. Can you imagine any other establishment or any other entity or organisation that is interacting with the government? Can you imagine the government taking their head, the best of them, and throwing them in prison and then not saying anything about it? I thought this is incredible, because what they've done, in my opinion, and many other people's opinion, is take a journalist and thrown him in that prison up there. They've thrown him in there and they've thrown journalism in jail. And the journalists are not saying anything at all, are they? The journalists are quiet. In fact, there's nobody here. There's Rupley and there's a couple of others from across the pond, across the English Channel in Europe, etc. There's even one I've noticed from China. But no British journalists. Can you imagine? Can you imagine them slamming the Pope, putting the Pope in Belmarsh? Can you imagine them that? Do you think the Archbishop of Canterbury would have, say more than 2 words? Of course he would. And, the journalists and their silence on this is deafening. It just shows you that they're not journalists. They're not holding power to account. We have to switch them off, we have to stop listening, and we have to just call them out for who they are. And that's what I try and do. So I'll try and get some interviews if I'm here while I'm down here. I'm in a bit feisty mood today, so I'm not going to be friendly with anybody. I will guarantee you that. And if somebody does an interview with me, then you can guarantee that they're going to get some tough questions. Because, to be honest, I'm pissed off about this, and every journalist in the country should be pissed off about this. They've thrown journalism in jail, and none of them seem to give a shit. So I'm down here with all these people behind us. We give a shit. Why don't they? That's what we want to say. I'll try and get some interviews with people on the other camera, and I might go live if there's anything more. We're probably going to go on a rally now, so I don't know. Stay tuned. I might actually just stay live. Actually, thinking about it. No, I'll go and try and. In fact, it's still going on. Let's go back there and catch some more of the speeches, because there's some great people here and they all deserve to be heard.
Technology, we're facing an almost science fiction level of oppression on this planet. And the fact that there isn't more resistance to it just shows you how perfect the social engineering is, how incredibly intellectually crushing education is, how people are also exhausted from the, and I'm sure it's not unintentional, from just trying to live. And that's why I really, really respect all of you for coming out here. And all of you have your own crushing existence to deal with, which we all do.
Hi everyone, I've just noticed that my girlfriend's actually got the other camera and is recording the rest of the speeches, so I'm going to try off and go off and try and get some interviews with some of the great people here. I'll see you in a bit. Peace. Take care.